my friends. We're going to do a shave today that doesn't have anything to do with history. We're just going to shave. Welcome back, my friends, for today's shave. I've had some questions asked of me. Rich, you use a lot of old-fashioned type razors. What about new razors? And I have one today. It's a Schick. Well, it's got 5 of them, so it must be a Mach 5. I don't know how long I've had this, but I'm going to work on a theory that with right amount of preparation and right technique, that you can get a pretty good shave even with these multiple blade things, which I don't like. But let's try one now. Now I have the soap already prepared. This is just a soap that I found in the cabinet. It's just any kind of soap. One thing I'll draw the line on modern things is I don't really care for the canned soap because it's got chemicals in it that can dry your skin out. That's really bad for you. So this one is probably a vegan-based soap. I can't tell from the fragrance what it is, but it's probably an okay soap. I wouldn't keep having it if it wasn't okay. You know what we'll do? Moisturize or water down my beard a little bit. Get some water on it, and then we'll put the prepared soap on. Now, I'm going to put on here, while I'm painting this on my face, how the soap is prepared, or how I do it, with picture-in-picture, probably here, so you can see how that's going on while I'm lathering my face up. It's a pretty thick lather. This is probably a decent soap. Anyway, the soap and preparation is really the most important part of your shave. If you can get a good lather on and you have a decent razor, you should automatically be able to get one. So that if you have a razor like this, which in my book is a little bit sketchy, I don't think the blades on multi-blade razors are quite as sharp as the blades in my single edge. I don't know if you can get quite as close a shave with them without them pulling on the whiskers, getting a little tug. What happens, it's famous when the Gillette or the Track 2s, when double blade razors came out, the marketing was that the first blade lifts the whisker a bit, and the next one cuts it off so that it snaps below the surface of the skin. Well, what happens when you get that is the whisker gets under the surface of the skin, and then you get ingrown hairs that way. It's just, I don't know. Surprisingly, with decent technique, you let the blade do the work. You don't jerk on it. You just kind of put it against the skin and kind of guide it around. It's a reasonably comfortable shave. And we'll stop after one pass and just kind of examine how things are going with this. But it's doing okay. Like I said, this isn't something I'll make a do all the time. What it seems to do is it feels like it's wiping the whiskers off. I don't get much of a sensation of cutting, which I kind of like that feel, where I can feel the edge of the blade going across the skin. I can feel that, and I kind of like that feeling. First pass is actually not bad. Actually closer than I'd get after one pass with a single edge. And as usual for me, right here and through here, I got a little bit extra whiskers, but that's from my second pass. I'd say okay at first. So let's go for another pass. See what this is. I wish I knew what soap this is. It's pretty good. I should probably, because it was in a bowl already installed in a lathering bowl, as you can see from the pictures that I showed you there, and it was just under the sink. So I must have been using it for something at some point, and I've just forgotten what it is. So let's do another one against the grain. Now I have a section here where it goes the other way. So now what I'm going to try to avoid doing, and where you can run into trouble with these, is if you use too much pressure, you're going to get more of a chance of getting ingrown hairs. So you use a light touch on your second and subsequent passes if you do them. And this is more or less against the grain for me. This would be a true against the grain, is in this direction for me. I can feel a little bit of razor burn raising on cheek up here where I had a little pressure. Because this head tilts, and so I don't have a real good frame of reference, and so I gotta imagine there's some technique with these and these too. So I'm trying to use a light touch, using overlapping, a little bit of an overlapping pattern here so I get everything. And I would consider this pretty darn close. But I know I'm doing this at the risk of running into some trouble later. So this soap is so slick that I can go back and find areas that I still have whiskers sticking out, and this is doing a pretty good job of taking care of those. So what we can get out of this is these razors in and of themselves probably aren't, they are not all that bad, but when you use these in conjunction with a soap with all kind of chemicals that are drying your skin out, you run the risk of getting into some trouble. Yeah, decent shave. Matter of fact, a pretty darn good shave. Now let's hit ourselves up with the alum here to see if I have any irritation. I don't expect there to be any because I was being pretty careful as to the touch and stuff. I got a little bit of something going on here, and this is where we're going to be watching now in the next day or so to see if there's any ingrown hairs or something appearing. At my age, that probably doesn't happen as much, but younger guys, that could be a problem. So keep an eye out for that. Part 2 of the razor burn test then would be aftershave. And let's use, just to make sure that I don't have a problem, I'll use Spike. This is real good aftershave for sensitive skin, or if you think you've got a little bit of irritation going. I'll use this like if I get a sunburn or something. Almost for certain I'm going to grab Spike for my aftershave. and there's no burn, so I think we're okay. So that's where we're at today. You can get a decent shave with the multiple edge, in this case 5. I don't know how many, if it's possible to have more than 5 blades, otherwise it'd be like a hay rake going across your face. Pretty good shave if you use a decent soap. It doesn't have to be artisan level, but a good brand of a vegan or tallow-based soap and a brush, you can certainly get a decent shave. I'm Major Rich. You can find me at theshavingcadre.com. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe if you're so inclined. If you have any suggestions or anything you'd like to see or questions about shaving, please leave in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.